Hallå allihopa och stort välkomna till kompetitiv äldre drak högländare TV. I den här intron så kör vi på lite svenska, för vi har med oss Joel och Pontus och Måns. Vi är alla svenskar, förutom den där Rhetoric, han är en sån där kanadensare, fast egentligen är en amerikanare. Har du något att säga till ditt försvar?
Okay, click. I can't say it. I don't know. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Det där var oskicklig svenska.
Ja.
Ja, det var jävligt oskicklig svenska. Hur som helst, nu kör vi igång!
So today I'm playing a new commander. I'm playing Flubs the Fool. This build is something I just stole from my friend Furlow and made some changes to. The main idea of the deck is that you want to go Hellbent, and then you want to abuse the fact that Flubs draws you a card each time you cast a spell if you're Hellbent. So things like a Ruth makes you not draw but exile the top two instead, or just assemble some kind of loop that just draws and discards you through your whole library. Some payoffs to discarding as well, such as Itri, I think. And yeah, other than that, it's basically just a Breach Storm deck.
Jag kan inte motstå att fortsätta den här saken på svensk i alla fall lite tag till. Så jag spelar Yuriko Tigerskuggan. Min plan är att spela en massa ninjor som vi ska ninja in. Så vi kommer spela ganska mycket billigt småsmött som vi bara byter plats med den här, och sen så flippar vi in helst i ganska stora dyra grejer som typ snuff ut eller övervåg. Nej, dränkt blir det här. Submerged, ja det blir dränkt. Fassas oraklet tillsammans med en demonkonsultation för att vinna spelet ganska clean. Men annars så är det typ en sån här vad man kallar för Yuriko hit and burn typ. Yuriko bränn. Hur som, nu kör vi!
Ja, men jag håller med Måns. Det är klart vi kör lite på svenska här nu. Jag tog med mig den här leken igen. Björna, nattfallsalkemisten, tillsammans med sin partner Vernog, ridarens präst. Och för att vinna med den här leken så har vi Tassas oraklet. Men vi har andra sätt att vinna med den här leken. Vi har ju också undervärldsbrottet. Men Vernog, vår commander, är också en vinst som vi har i commandzonen om vi kör kort som till exempel Cloudstone Curio tillsammans med Dockside. Eller varför inte det nya kortet också, Catonian Nightmare.
Well, all I can say is that these two partners are not Sambo, but they are great partners in battle. So we're trying to demonstrate sort of bro-stormy things with a teamer framework here. Again, this is one of my favorite decks to play. And yeah, we're going to just try to smash over or draw our deck in some interesting way.
All right, let's go back to English now again, and let's take a look at our starting hand. All right, what do we see here? It's so far looking kind of good, I think. Let's see, we could do a Mox Diamond land turn 1 and play a Fellwar Stone to have a turn 2 Admos. Does it sound great to you guys? I think this is a keep.
This hand is pretty okay. So we have a turn 1 creature, and then we have Yuriko turn 2, the typical Yuriko thing. But we have Roaming Throne in the deck, in the hand. And that's kind of good. I kind of want to see how that is going to pan out and work out. I think it's going to be great. And like that's kind of why I wanted to play Yuriko to begin with, because she has been gaining a few new cards. And here we have one of those new cards, so I think I'm going to go for this. The sad part is that we don't really have that much interaction. We only have like this member, and that's it. We could require or need more. But Yuriko is a card draw commander basically, so we will be getting there, especially with the cards that we have in our hand. Like this is a secondary ninja, so that's great. So I think we will be able to get there. Like we're going to draw cards, and that means we will be able to draw into interaction. So it will probably work out. But the hand could be better, but I'm still keeping it.
So this is our first 7, and immediately I'm interested. I don't exactly know how I want to play this hand, but I think it's good. I should have goldfished this deck a bit before, but I didn't. So here we are. But this hand screams two different things to me. First of all, tap land, Mana Crypt, Talisman, Whirly Tutor, of course. You could go on tap land and Tinderwall, but I think you're less likely to draw Forest before your second turn, so you would just like to get it out there, tapped. But then the Whirly Tutor. And the two big options that I consider are Dockside. Go last, Dockside is pretty good. This pod, I think Dockside is kind of mid. I think there's 32 Dockside might not be that great in this pod. But something I'm more excited for is to find a Ruth, which is kind of a core piece of this deck. And I think that line is actually pretty good, so I'm gonna go do that line. And I think it's good, but we'll see if that's good or if the deck doesn't really work that well. Let's try. This is a turn 3 thing. If we lose turn 2, we lose turn 2. But if we get to turn 3, it might be really powerful. So let's see.
Let's get started. Draw a card. Land for turn is a Taiga. Tap that, cast an Elvish Mystic, and if that's good, I'll pass turn.
Let's see what we draw. We are gonna play this Bloodstained Mire, immediately cracking it, finding this Badlands. After that, I will play this Mox Diamond, pitching this Underground Sea. After that, we will tap 2 mana and play a Fellwar Stone. And after that, I will pass to you, good sir.
I am not a good sir, I'm a bad sir. I'm gonna play Scalding Tarn, sacrifice it, finding an Underground Sea, and with that, cast this Muff Dust Changeling. It is a wannabe ninja, but also a wannabe dragon. It's a wannabe everything. It's friends with everyone. But here I pass the turn.
Go to my turn. I'll be playing a tapped Shifting Woodlands as land for turn. Then I will cast a Mana Crypt, and then I'll tap that Mana Crypt to cast a Talisman of Curiosity. And with that, I'll pass the turn.
Right, untap and draw. We will go down to 39, and we will tap Taiga, and we'll cast Thrasios, and then we'll pass Yos.
I have a response in your end step, Rhetoric. I will tap 1 mana and use a red elemental blast on your Thrasios.
I don't want to do this, but I'm going to. I'm going to Deflecting Swat and cast that targeting the little moth guy that Mon says.
But the moth guy did nothing wrong. No.
All right, taking my turn. Untap, upkeep, and draw. We are gonna starting with cast this Dark Ritual, adding 3 black to the mana pool. 5 mana, cast this Ad Nauseam.
I pass.
I pass.
I see why you wanted to remove this, because you knew I probably had some things. So, welcome back, Yule. So glad that we could play with you again. I'm going to cast Fierce Guardianship on Adnos.
Damn it! I was so happy deflecting swat was gone, but alright. Adnos is countered. Passing on to you, good sir.
Considering that you killed my creature and you Adnost or try to, yeah, I feel that you're the bad sir, so I am the good sir, I guess. Well, I'm gonna play this Misty Rainforest, sacrifice it. As I can't really utilize 2 mana, I'm going to find Undercity Sewers, because I wanna surveil at the very least, and I don't want to draw into that. Submerge is actually kinda good. It's good versus... Wait, it's actually good versus all of them. It's good versus Pontus Commander. Very good versus Pontus Commander. Oh, how good is it versus Pontus Commander? It's good. His entire deck is built around his commander. It's good versus Alena Thrasios, because Alena bounce her in response to her, kinda. When the creature comes on the stack, yeah, that's good. And it's good if that Vernog is doing a Dockside Loop too. On the other hand, I already have Dismember, so I don't think I need a double version of them. So in the end, I'm going to put Submerge into the graveyard. It's good versus these guys, but I already have Dismember. Then I'm gonna cast my backup creature, Wingcrafter. That can be my... Soulbound Flying. I pass.
In your end step, I'll take damage to cast a Worldly Tutor.
For half a second I was like, not Red Blast again, but pass.
Worldly Tutor will put a Ruth on the top of my library, and then I will go to my turn. Upkeep, roll for crypt, odds damage, roll d4, no damage, draw for turn. Land for turn will be Mana Confluence. So first, I will tap 3 to cast a Vial of Galadriel. It's an artifact that says if you would draw a card while you have no cards in hand, draw 2 cards instead. Also taps for mana. Also, it has some life gain thing. I don't have life gain. I also have a face, hello. But yeah, life gain, it doesn't matter. So, post Vial of Galadriel, I'll tap it for a red, tap for green, tap for blue, and cast a Ruth, Tormented Prophet. And with both of those in play, I will pass the turn.
All right, in the upkeep, I'm going to tap this for a blue, take a damage, and cast Mystical Tutor.
If you're finding Red Blast with that one, I'm just gonna...
Nah, it's another red card. I'm just gonna get just as well. They're on top. And then we will draw the card. Land for turn is a Gaia's Cradle. And then we will Taiga, then Gaia's Cradle. And we'll cast Jessica's Will, targeting Yule, I think, who has the most cards in hand. Apologies, Mons, who has 5 cards in hand.
No response. I'm not casting anything in instant speed. You can have it all.
Jessica's Will resolves. I will make 5 red and then exile the top 3 cards in my library. We have a Bloom Tender, Volcanic Island, Volcanic Island, and a Verdant Catacomb. So, slight whiffs. All right, those cards are there. I don't have enough mana to cast Bloom Tender, so just trying to get some value out of Jessica's Will. So I'm going to use all the mana and cast Alena. And after that, I pass the turn.
Untap, upkeep, draw. I think I will play this plateau. After that, I will tap 2 mana to play this Bjorna. Or as we say in Sweden, Björna. I think I will just keep the mana up and pass from here.
My turn, draw card. I'm gonna play an Underground River land drop. Now everyone has blockers, so we need to get rid of some. So we're gonna cast this Dismember by paying 1 mana and 4 life. And I'm gonna destroy Pontus' weird creature over there that I don't know what it does, but it's better to have it gone anyway.
No response.
Then, as Pontus doesn't have blockers, we're sending Wingcrafter at him. And here we can ninja in Yuriko, sending this back to hand and punching Pontus for 1 damage. And I'm flipping into a, 1 damage, Changeling Outcast, so every one of you take 1. Not the highest amount of damage, but it is a really good card inside Yuriko, as it will accumulate more ninja triggers and more card draw and such, so happy in the end, in passing turn.
Go to my turn and roll for crypt, dodges damage. Roll a 6, no damage. I will tap a green to cast a Tinder Wall. I will then crack the Tinder Wall for 2 red. I'll use 1 of the red, tap Talisman for green, taking damage, and tap File of Galadriel for a blue to cast my commander, Flubs the Fool. With Flubs in play, I will spend my last remaining floating red to cast a Ragavan. This will trigger Flubs. I'll respond to this trigger and cast a Deflecting Spot starting my Ragavan, triggering Flubs again. So first of all, Deflecting Spot can be cast targeting anything. This has come up before. It says you may choose a new target for target spell or ability. It doesn't say a spell or ability that has a target. So you can target any spell or any ability, and you may change it. You may not, and you cannot with the Ragavan. So yes, I'm casting this to generate draw triggers before I have to discard it anyways. And maybe I find some instant speed spells to cast in between. We'll see. But Flubs trigger resolves. I draw 2. Then Deflecting Spots will resolve. Flubs trigger on Ragavan. I will discard this Lightning Bolt, because I have to discard because I have cards in hand. Then Ragavan resolves. And then we're back in Sorcerer Speed. I just realized how annoying this deck is going to be to pilot.
You realize that now? I could see that a miles away. Krark.
You know I'm blind.
This is a wannabe Krark. Have you heard of Nadu Plontus?
Nah, dude. I'll play my land for turn. This will trigger Flubs, the Fool, and I will draw 2. I will fetch with my Lassenmeyer, finding a Taiga. My second land for turn will be this Emergence Zone. Trigger Flubs, and I will be discarding this Noxious Survival. And then I'm out of gas and passing the turn. So, funny enough here, I just want to point this out because I didn't know this until now. I actually think Vial is bad in this deck because usually you play a card, draw a card, and then you can play that card. Here you play a card, draw 2 cards, you play 1, discard the other, and now you have nothing. So unless you have things to combo with this, I think this might be a trap. I just didn't see it until just now. Well, we'll learn. Let's continue.
Take my turn. Yeah, I'll do the boring thing. Passios, Thrasios. Go ahead, Yul.
Tapping these 2 to play Murloc. And now we're all gonna choose to get a clue or not get a clue. That is the question.
I have enough card draw with Yuriko, so I will decline this one. I will take a damage.
I am going to be hellbent for a while, so I'm going to take a clue, thank you.
You get a clue.
And I have Thrasios, so I'm okay. I'll take a damage.
I will get 2 clues then. And after that, I will just pass my turn.
I'm gonna draw a card. We need some sky power, so we're gonna cast Wingcrafter that we returned previously. And I'm gonna soulbound this to Yuriko, so now Yuriko has flying. Then I'm gonna go to combat, and I'm gonna swing this at you, Joel.
Before blockers, I'm just gonna tap Bjorna, sack a clue, and ping your soulbound creature.
I am so annoyed right now. This is not a Yuriko game. Yeah, that happens. And you block it. Second main phase. I mean, this is just gonna die instantly, I think.
Oh dear.
So I'm gonna cast Mana Crypt, and with Mana Crypt, I'm gonna bring out a Roaming Throne. And I'm gonna say pirates. No, I mean dragons. Nah, ninjas. So whenever Yuriko trigger, it will be lots of triggers. And this has 4/4, so this one can actually go to combat and probably get through because it will kill anything it connects with. So yeah, next turn may be better. Pass.
In your end step, I will tap my Mana Crypt to crack my clue.
Tap 2. Orcish Bowmaster.
No response.
So, on ETB, I'm gonna kill your Ragavan.
My Ragavan dies, and then I will draw 2 because of Vial of Galadriel.
Nothing else, but let's do like this. 1 on the elf. And Yeah, because of Mon's rudeness trying to attack me, I will ping Mons in the face.
In response, I will tap the elf for 1 green, and then tap Guy's Cradle to make 3 more, and then I'll activate Thrasios. And that's a Sheltering Ancient, so I will put that into my hand. Elf dies.
And I will have another trigger, and I will ping Mons in the face.
What have I done wrong?
I will now, finally, go to my turn. Untap Upkeeper of a Crypt, odds damage. I rolled a 2, no damage. This crypt has been really nice to me. I'll draw for turn. I will pay 1 mana to cast a Mystic Remora. Trigger Flubs the Fool. The trigger will discard a Rustic Study. Remora resolves. Then, 4 mana to activate my Shifting Woodland to become a copy of Eruth in my graveyard. With my land becoming an Eruth, I will tap my Talisman for a blue, taking damage, to cast a Chain of Vapor, triggering my commander, Flubs the Fool. So Flubs will trigger, and it will resolve, and I will have 2 replacement effects. But I will replace the draw with draw 2, and then those are 2 new instances of draw, and I will replace those with Eruth. So since the 2 draws from the vial are new instances of draw, it's not the same card draw anymore, I can replace those 2 with Eruth. And I did confirm this with the judge, so it's not me who's wrong, it's the judge, sorry. Also the Chain of Vapor will be targeting my mana crypt. So I will have 2 instances of Eruth exiling the top 4, or top 2. So exile top 4. I exile a Otavara, a Mox Amber, a Delighted Halfling, and a Sink into Stupor, the flip land. So this way I can actually storm through Roguish Bowmaster without any repercussions, and yeah, I think this is going to be pretty fun. So now Chain of Vapor resolves, I bounce my mana crypt, put it into my hand, and I may copy. I could target Roguish Bowmaster, but I actually don't care about it right now, so I'm gonna play it safe and not get my Ruth bounced, and just not copy. Then I'm casting my mana crypt, triggering Flubs the Fool. And the same thing, I'm Hellbent, so I'll draw 2, but I'll replace that by exiling the top 4. So I'll exile, and now because I'm not gonna have a hand for quite a while, I'll just put my exile in my hand. So I'll exiling the top 4 to my hand. 2, 3, 4. Land for turn will be a Volcanic Island. This will trigger Flubs, and I'll draw 4. Second land for turn will be a Exotic Orchard, and I will draw 4. Now, I'll cast a Mox Amber and draw 4. I'll tap Mana Crypt, have 1 colorless floating to cast a Sol Ring and draw 4. I will use my second colorless floating and cast a Mana Vault, draw 4. I will tap Sol Ring and Mox Amber to cast a Burgi, drawing 4. I'll cast a LED, draw 4, make a red mana for Burgi. I will realize that Lineside Diamond is cracked because I have no hand. This is 3 mana. That's crazy. I will crack Lineside Diamond, discarding my hand, which is empty, and create 3 green mana. I'll use 2 of them, and the red I have floating from Burgi, to cast a Food Chain. Food Chain will trigger Burgi and make a red mana. I'll then use the red mana to cast a Rite of Flame, drawing 4, making red with Burgi, and then making 2 red with Rite of Flame. I will then cast a Squee, drawing 4. From here, I can make infinite mana and draw my deck in iterations of 4. Then, before I deck myself, which I actually can't do because Ruth used Exile, so I never deck myself. But even if I would, I can use Exile Flubs when I have my deck in hand and make infinite mana, infinite storm. And instead of actually killing myself, I will do this until I have a Brain Freeze. I will cast Brain Freeze, and then I will wheel to kill the table, still having 7 cards in hand. So, while the combo of Vial of Galadriel and Ruth is really strong and like basically just won me the game there, I still think Vial is a trap. I don't think it's worth building around that 2-card combo in this deck, because I think Vial on its own is just kind of worse. I think you kind of wanted to break points where you draw odd amount of cards. So like instead of drawing 2, you draw 3. So Song of Creation still works because you draw 2 extra on top of the 1. So that means you can cast 1, discard 1, and then cast other and draw 3 again. No, that doesn't work. Song is weird as well. This deck is weird. I don't know how to prove it. I won this game because I was lucky, I guess.
I mean, the chance of you getting those 2 artifacts, the artifact and the creature together, isn't super likely. And I can see a world where this commander could accidentally brick by last. Play land, draw card. Oh, it's a counterspell. That I can see that being a problem. So, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like this deck will brick a lot, especially if I don't think you ever want to play a naked Flubs, just no payoff, just Flubs. Turn 1 Dork, turn 2 land Flubs. I think that's just asking to lose the game.
No.
I think you just want to cast it whenever you have the setup to really take advantage of it.
I can see that it's triggering on the lands, and we can make additional extra land drops. And it has the color identity of red, so that means Valakut. But that's for an upcoming futuristic potential brew I have now. Regardless, thank you for watching, and we'll be back next week. Take care, guys.
Take care, guys.